think like ultimately we need to be in right relationship with the earth in terms of like a solution. Like, what can we do? Let's get in right relationship. Like, let's start building the relationship. Let's start building community resiliency, because even if we all somehow organized tomorrow and really started making shit happen and taking down dams and stopping resource extraction projects and, stop driving cars, we're still going to be having effects of climate change. Those are not going to go anywhere at this point. If we really made some large global solutions, would that help? Yes, it would help. But it's not going to alleviate the pain that is coming our way, that already is in many places in the world. And a lot of times we just can't feel a lot of it because we have modernity to like cushion us from the blow. It's like, well, we still have air conditioning. Well, we still have water in our taps. Well, we still have access to A, B, and C. So we don't have to feel the reality of the situation as much in this country, and probably a lot of the listeners who are listening. I mean, the fact if you can even listen to a podcast on a device, like you're probably not feeling it as much as other people that have to walk 5 miles to get water and their well is drying up because there's none left. And I think also for me, how I deal with climate change is, educating myself, really, really questioning my own existential needs, and then getting involved in land-based projects, because the earth is resilient. The earth is resilient. And a lot of people say the earth will be fine. It's the humans. Like, will the humans survive? I don't know, but the earth will be fine. I actually despise when people say the earth will be fine. So I'm like, are you speaking for the earth? Is that what the earth told you? That like she'll be fine when she loses like everything she had for billions of years? Because I don't know if fine is the word I'd use. I'd maybe use like the earth will evolve. Like, sure, but like fine, it's just like such a gross thing to me. Because I'm like, we're losing 200 species a day and we're going to say she's fine. She's losing 200 children. It's like, this is crazy to say that.
Aww.
But I think that we can really get involved in land-based projects and support the resiliency of land in climate change. Like, one thing that
what's an example? What's an example of a land-based project?
Well, one thing I'm super passionate about is dam removal. We are clogging the arteries of the earth. And while we still have fossil fuels readily available, we need to be pumping fossil fuels into excavators to take down dams immediately. No more new dams, and take down the old dams. Because if we want any chance of having salmon again, if we want any chance of like having the lifeblood of land be able to flow, we need those dams gone. So, there have been dam removals. There are more scheduled, but like, thinking about Shasta, they want to raise that dam, and it's a huge indigenous sovereignty issue. And it's like, get involved with that. Does that relate to climate change?
So is a dam, like, just for so people understand, like, why is a dam built in the first place? And what does it provide? And then what is it actually doing to the land?
Yeah. So a dam is basically like a big concrete wall that holds water back. And it's created for hydroelectricity, which is electricity. It's just like, it's a way to power our lives, power our modern lives. Many of these dams were like built in the 50s, 60s. So they're not really even, they're not even giving us a lot of electricity for what they are. They're not great. They're not efficient, I guess is the word I'd use. And so you can imagine that rivers and riparian zones, which are the lands around rivers, they are so vital. They are so vital. And you look at like Los Angeles, and the river, Colorado River, is literally a concrete thing. Like, it's not a river anymore. Like, think about all the...
Yeah, shit's nasty.
It's nasty. It's like, so think about it. If you have plants and soil around a river, those plants and that soil and those fungi, they're going to help clean the water. They're going to help soak the water in. I mean, it's a whole system. It's going to feed its habitat, blah, blah, blah. We concrete it up, and then we're literally like we're just killing whole communities of creatures, plants, microbes. It's gone. And all the ecosystem services that Earth will do before it's concreted is absolutely incredible. We can't even quantify it financially because it's like billions of dollars of ecosystem services. So when you dam a river, there's so many things that happen. I mean, one, like fish can't get up. Two, because of the logging around rivers, there's a lot of erosion that's come in, and then it creates sedimentation in the river. It changed the shape of the river. Fish can't spawn because they're dying. Their gills are being flooded with the sedimentation from the erosion. You have like the water gets hotter because it's not moving. Like rivers flow, but if you stop a river, it's like this hot, stagnant water. Then you have invasive species that come in. You have algae blooms. I mean, like it's a very long list of what will happen because they are the lifeblood. They are the arteries of the land. You clog the arteries by putting dams in. So that's just one thing, like dams. I mean, I'm very passionate about taking dams. I'm very passionate about stopping new resource extraction projects. No new mines, no new fracking sites, no tar sands, no oil drilling, none of that. No offshore, no inshore, doesn't matter. Done. Like if that's happening in your community, or if you want to get involved with something like the tar sands, or like Pebble Mine up in Bristol Bay, Alaska, has the largest salmon run left in the world. They're talking about building the largest gold mine in the world. Like the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, Trump just reopened it. Trump just reopened Bears Ears, Grand Escalante for more oil. It's our public lands that have been protected, and now they're being reopened under this administration to do more fossil fuel extraction. So in terms of climate change, the things we can really do that I think are really powerful is get involved with the community and friggin' organize like there ain't no tomorrow, because there isn't. It's always our responsibility to take care of the land. I know we probably were raised with this mentality that's like, oh, well, that land's set aside or somebody else is going to do it. Nobody else is going to do it. We actually all are responsible to protect the land, especially our public lands. And that's also something that I feel like there's so much information on for people to get involved in. So many different organizations that are fighting the good fight to keep these lands protected and to keep them from having new resource extraction projects. And you know, a big problem is that economic development, because people are struggling. People will continue to struggle, especially with climate change. And when you go into these communities that are very poor and you offer them a new industry, you offer them a new mine, a new, you know, some bullshit, it's really hard for them to say no and even destroy their own land and poison their own water, because they don't have any economic, or very, very little economic mobility. Thank you. So again, it's like, we have to build resiliency in our communities away from the fossil fuel economy. And I could give you examples, but it's really listening to the communities of like what they need and like what the ecosystem is asking in that space. But there's just so many things to get involved in to stop new fossil fuel extraction projects and close down the ones that are already in operation. But then the question is like, well, but it's hard when let's say I as an individual am going to keep if I as an individual am going to keep demanding a very resource fossil fuel intensive life, but at the same time I'm going to be like, but stop the da. It's like, well, you know, it doesn't have as much power. It doesn't have as much punch to the power of the situation. Yeah. But nonetheless, like it's a big thing to curb your addiction and to become an organizer or to be a part of the organizing the movement. But I would say don't get trapped in the enormity of it. Don't get trapped in being imperfect. Just start, get involved, and you will figure out, and you will be so like working for the earth is so enlivening because, you know, I don't want to answer because it just is. And so even though I am like, oh my gosh, like I'm also like, yes. And every new person I meet and every new project I do and every new connection, it feeds the fire. And I think that kind of leads me to this feeling of having sacred rage and being really energized by the anger, by the overwhelm, by the
I'm obsessed with that term, sacred rage.
Yeah, sacred rage, because like, you know, maybe some of us are listening going like, holy shit, like what do I do? There's nothing to do. It's all too big. I'm so scared. I'm so sad. I'm so pissed. I'm so angry. Yes. Use it.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Morning Microdose by Almost 30.
We hope you enjoyed waking up.
As always, we encourage you to take what resonates and leave the rest. If you enjoyed this trip, tune into the full episode on the Almost 30 podcast. All episode information can be found in the show notes.
Make sure to subscribe, and if this becomes a part of your morning routine, be sure to share it with a friend. We have new inspiring doses Monday through Friday. Follow us on Instagram at Morning Microdose, and follow Almost 30 at Almost 30 Podcast.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the vortex.